Welcome back to the morning show here on the Rice News. Well, let's take a bit of time to listen to the following clip.
Greetings, fellow Nigerians. My name is Adaku Onusiriuka, and I bring with me a diverse range of experiences, from being a trained international corporate social and protocol etiquette consultant to serving as a former banker, a foreign service national at the American Embassy, a politician, commissioner for SME and new businesses development, an entrepreneur, and a serial businesswoman. It is with great enthusiasm that I introduce Etiquette Nigeria, a platform that aims to instill an innovative mindset and revive our customary code of polite behavior within our society. In today's fast-paced world, we often find ourselves losing or having lost many of the values that define us as Nigerians. Negative influences have eroded our traditional etiquette, and we must intentionally transfer these correct values to the younger generation. Through Etiquette Nigeria, we will engage in relevant discussions, provide valuable media content, and offer comprehensive training programs that
Well, our first guest is ready for us, we've been told, and without further ado, let's join our Rice Abuja studios to speak with Adaku Onusiriuka Oseiza, an etiquette and protocol consultant and former Abia State Commissioner for Small, Medium Enterprises and New Businesses Development, for a bit of focus on mind re-engineering towards working and fighting for a better nation. The project is called Etiquette Nigeria. Good morning, madam. Good to have you join us on the morning show today.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, fellow Nigerians.
Good morning. All right. We saw that clip where you spoke passionately about what Etiquette Nigeria is all about. But that's a short clip. Now that we have you, can you take us through what this initiative is trying to do? Is it like trying to bring about the idea of a finishing school to the whole generality of Nigerians, or is this another new project looking for relevance in Abuja, where a new government obviously will be needing a lot of proposals? What is it about?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, it's not a project about new government who will be needing plenty men It's a platform that has been set up to train individuals, government staff, business, men and women on etiquette skills. Special focus on actually governance because of my experience in politics and having served as a commissioner and having worked with the United States Embassy. I have gone for these trainings in UK and the US, and I thought that we should begin to talk about how to reform our attitude, renew our moral standards, because we are losing it gradually. I saw a lot in this. I've been to lots of ministries. I've discussed with lots of leaders, and I just thought that it's nice to set up this platform so we can begin to train people, teach them. It's beyond finishing school for me. It is like renewing our mindset as leaders in the country. Coming into governance, not just. A lot of people have a different notion. I can take an example. When I became a commissioner, I've lost a lot of friends because people are asking, oh, what have you done for me? Or what have you not done for me? What am I going to gain? What are you there for? Like, everybody is looking at you as a leader who is in position to enrich them or enrich your pocket. So I'm setting up this platform to train different people. I'm making myself available to say, hey, let's work towards building this new Nigeria. It's a passion for me. It's beyond, submitting proposals. I know that I've been doing this free of charge to different people, but I just thought to make it open now to say, look, let's all come together. Let's talk to each other. Let's renew our mindset. We can't keep on doing the same thing over and over again and expect, a different result for Nigeria. a lot of people's hopes have been dampened. I mean, we can see comments all the time. We can see reactions everywhere. This is not a party issue. This is a Nigerian thing. Let's remarket ourselves, make the Nigerian brand more marketable. We want to be bold to hold our passports. Want to say, yes, I'm a Nigerian and we are doing things right. I can go to give an example. I don't want to mention the particular ministry or state, but I walked into a ministry one day and I saw different staff sleeping. I mean, about 6 people actually put their heads down on the table. And I was like, excuse me, what's going on here? And I called the head of the ministry. I said, I've found a lot of people sleeping. And he said to me, oh, yeah, I asked them to sleep when they don't, whenever they don't have anything to do. I said, excuse me. First of all, why would they sleep? The worst that can happen is get them to develop themselves. If there's nothing happening at that time, in the office, why would they come to the office with the mindset that they have to sleep? That was one. I was able to stop that. I went to another ministry. As I walked through the hallway, I saw people. It was like a mini market square in the ministry. People were selling stuff, things like soap, toothpaste. And I was going in to see the head of that ministry too. And I was like, I'm going to talk to this guy. This is wrong. Like, you can't come into a ministry and an organization in Nigeria and then just find staff selling all sorts of stuff on the table. And I got into his secretary's office. Lo and behold, the secretary had the same thing. Long-range products, soap, toothpaste, and all that. And I went into his office. I said, sir, I don't think this is right. I think you need to stop this. Let them know when you're here for work, you're here for work. We understand that salaries are a problem, and thank God that the president is working towards, the minimum wage and all that. We understand that people have to sell. And I told him, and guess what this leader told me? He said, actually, the one on my secretary's desk, they're mine. I asked her to help me market it. I said, no, you don't do that. I will give an example. When I worked with the American Embassy, you are allowed to do business, but it must not conflict with your job. So you can write officially through the management to say, this is the kind of business I want to do. Through your boss, if it's approved, you do it, but you dare not put your products on the table.
Okay, I'd like to come in here.
You can, market with your lips.
Okay, I'd like to come in here. Thank you for setting the tone of this conversation. Now, you've given personal examples of, I guess, ways that we've gotten it wrong. And, the idea of personal sacrifice for the greater good of the nation is indeed crucial. Could you elaborate on how Etiquette Nigeria intends to inspire and encourage Nigerians to embrace this concept? And also, could you also provide some examples of practical steps or initiatives that Etiquette Nigeria aims to introduce to facilitate this renewed sense of service among Nigerians?
Okay. Well, we've been creating media contents, showing on different media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and we're also willing to come to you when you reach out to us, to train in the ministries, staff of organizations, women group, men group. It just covers generally. And for example, we've looked at we can look at social etiquette, we can look at business etiquette, even for business-minded people. We can look at talk about your posture, your poise as a leader. Even as little as dining manners, not finishing school like the other man said. We can teach you, of course, how to even dine properly in public. Some people don't even know the proper things to do. How to talk. The way you speak as a leader matters. Diplomacy that is needed as a leader. So you can reach out to us, or you can look at our platform. So beyond personal training, like discussions like this, you can look at our media platforms. These are things that we'll bring to. We've been able to talk to a few groups, like recently the diplomatic secretaries in Abuja. I've been to a few churches, a few other women groups. Those are the things that we've done recently.
All right.
And we're willing to do more.
Okay. All right, Adaku. Listening to you earlier in the video clip, two things stood out for me. One, where you said that the world is in need of a change. and secondly, about redefining our moral values. So I'm wondering, since you've touched a lot on government, the things that you have observed as a commissioner compared to your experiences while you work with the American embassy, the word change and moral value there. I'm interested in how do you think that this might work with the idea of national orientation in Nigeria? You know, of course, that we have always had that agency, National Orientation Agency, but a lot of people feel that that agency might not have delivered sufficiently on its mandate, which is probably the reason why this new government has now brought it totally under the control of the Ministry of Information, which has now been, rechristened as Ministry of Information and National Orientation. How do you think that Etiquette Nigeria can fit in into orientating Nigerians as far as moral values and changing the world that you spoke about are concerned?
Okay, well, I will say, beyond just talking about how Etiquette Nigeria, how, as the head of those ministries, we go about making this, foster this change, we need to keep on pushing out this information out in the media as much as possible, training people. The leader of this ministry, it has to be a passionate appeal. It has to come from inside of you. It has to be, it's being birthed from a point of view where you know that this country needs a change, where you know that every leader needs to redefine their moral values. And we as Etiquette Nigeria, we are ready to partner with anyone, partner with the ministry, partner with Nigeria, partner with organizations. But this agency, now that is under the Ministry of Information, I'm saying that we should be very, very active now. We shouldn't just know that, yes, there's an orientation agency under the Ministry of Information. Doing what exactly? So we should be out there. The leaders should be out there speaking, talking. We are ready to come, partner with them, discuss with them, push out the right attitude, the right morals that these leaders should have. We're ready to make ourselves available, even in their retreats or whatever, to tell them, okay, let's change our views. Let's do things differently. Let's redefine our moral standards. What is expected of us as leaders? We want leaders that will walk on the streets and, people will be proud of them the way you used to be. We don't want leaders that will travel out of Nigeria and they will get stoned. We want to just teach ourselves, retrain ourselves. So I think that it's a wake-up call also for this reorientation agency under the Ministry of Information. And I'm really pleading with the Minister of Information that, look, this is a time to speak out. And really, create this environment and create this awareness more like where people will learn and we are willing to partner with them.
All right,
and bring our expertise to the table.
All right, Adaku, you gave, when you were answering my colleague's initial question, you spoke about two separate ministries that you had visited, and you were, of course, from your reaction, appalled by what you had seen, the practices that you had seen, even during working hours. And when we look at the cultural, social, and economic disparities, often that influences people's perception of service and responsibility. So my first question to you is, how does Etiquette Nigeria plan to address these differences and create a unified commitment to the nation? And also, in the face of prevalent apathy and cynicism among Nigerians, what strategies does Etiquette Nigeria have to persuade individuals that their actions and their contributions can indeed lead to a positive change?
Well, of course, we're already here. We've started we do this by making ourselves available to talk to people, to train people through our training services, But we need to give them examples. Give them examples of countries that have worked, what is going in other countries, institutions that are working, establishments that are working, the consequences of their actions, and even in their personal lives, because this is beyond going to work and sleeping. If you go to work and sleep, how do you even succeed in your personal endeavors, even at home? It just tells me that you're not a serious-minded person. So we need to tell them, like, this is the end result of your action. Are you going to be happy to keep coming to work and sleeping, and there's no productivity, and at the end of the day, you say there's no salary is increased, or the government is not working? We need to talk. We're talking to people. Etiquette Nigeria is here to say, recommit yourself to service. If you're called to service, come to work and serve the nation. There are advantages, there are disadvantages. These are the pros and these are the cons. And what Etiquette Nigeria is here to say is, these actions you're taking is not benefiting you. It's not benefiting Nigeria. It's not benefiting the ministry you're serving or the organization you're working for.
All right, Adaku, that's a good one. And we hope that we'll hear more about Etiquette Nigeria in months and years to come. And we wish you well in your endeavor. Thank you very much for joining us on the show.